Welcome to the book club. My name is Renee. I am your wealth coach. We also have Teal with us tonight. She's one of my peers in the real estate industry, and she's out there killing the game. I'm so glad that she's here with us tonight. We are reading The 9 to 5 Millionaire by Jemal King.
Yes, Jemal King.
Jemal King. This book is really good. Tonight we're on chapters, I believe, 7 and 8. And this week I've been sharing, if you follow me on other platforms, about self-made millionaires. I mean, for the whole entire year, we've been reading books on millionaires. And I've been studying millionaires over the years. And so it's just, you can't help, but it's contagious. It is contagious. So I was just really highlighting some self-made millionaires. Jemal was the one I highlighted today. He is a self-made millionaire. He did that, built his empire while he was working his 9-to-5 job, because he knew that his job wasn't going to be enough to afford him the lifestyle that he wanted to live. And so tonight I'm going to start off with exposure. And that's what he discusses in the chapter. So I'll just read the definition of it. It is the state of being exposed to contact with something. And just to share a story, while raising my daughter, from a little girl on up, I just kept exposing. If she says, well, Mom, I want to be a veterinarian, no problem, but make sure you own it. So she wrote out her business plan at age 10. And she's like, well, Mom, I want to be a billionaire. Okay, well, I'll get you to the millionaire status and you take it from there. And so when she said that, what I did was I researched kids her age and under that were already millionaires. And so I would expose her to things outside of her scope and around the 5 people that she was around. And I remember she got a scholarship to go to Black entertainment. So it was the kids version. So the kids were there that were millionaires. So she got to meet them one-on-one. She got to talk with them. She got to sit in their seminars. They also had a section for vending tables. And she was able to go by and look at their products and services. And anyway, sometimes you just need to be exposed.
Yes.
What you want in life. And there are some people that never even leave their city. They go to school, they stay in their city, they never travel, they never go outside of their city. And so even as a little girl, she's been traveling since she was 3 months old, flying. And so every year her dad lives in Connecticut, so she would fly. I would pay for someone to sit with her. Look, here I go again, can't think of the name. Chaperone. So we would have to pay for a chaperone to sit with her and fly. So she's been flying all over the world. She's been to Spain, she's been to Africa. She's just, she's leaving tomorrow for California. She's been traveling all her life. So it's not uncommon that today she's applying for a job through Delta.
No, fantastic.
So she had an interview last week and, she wants to travel the world. And so why not find a job, if you're going to work, that's going to afford you the type of life you want to live, and they pay for it.
That's right.
All about exposure. So one of the things that, another thing, like, what books have you read? What person have you had a conversation with that really changed your whole trajectory in the way that you were going? I can remember I always wanted to be a cosmetologist. I went to school. I was working for someone in a salon. It was a 60-40% type of deal. They got the 60, I got the 40. So, I'm in there working, standing on my feet. And so someone approached me about renting a chair. So at the time, was working temporary jobs. So, and it was a Black owned place. And so I was talking to the owner. And so I was telling her, I was like, yeah, because when you get ready to make a change in your life, you get nervous. You start to second guess yourself. You start to say, is this the right decision? Even though these are things that you dreamt about. And so when it comes time to making those decisions, you kind of, there's some hesitation. We all fear. So anyway, I was telling her about it. So she said, well, let me see if I understand this right. She was like, well, she says, you're working for somebody now. They take 60% of what you're working, or you can work over here and you keep all of your money and you just pay, a weekly rental. She's like, well, that's a no-brainer to me. And I can remember how that made me feel. I was so hurt, embarrassed. But after I processed it, I went home and I slept on it. She changed my life with those words. I then made the decision. I went and changed salons. My whole finances changed. It wasn't long after that I opened my own salon, but I could have got stuck in that position of just sharing that with someone else. And the other thing is I said I would be a millionaire by 30, and I keep sharing this story. But this time I'm on my way and I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping because there's no way you could be exposed to millionaires, read books on millionaires, talk to millionaires, and not become one.
That's right.
So I'm excited about where I'm going, and I'm not stopping. And for those that are watching the replay, I just recently signed up or created a monthly membership. So you can join on a monthly basis and you would get some extra. So like after this recording, I would stay on and then you get to ask me questions, quick Q&As. And tonight we're going to go over, we're going to talk about the cost of your current self and the cost of your future self. And so those that are members would actually get a copy of the worksheet that you'll see here tonight. So I'm excited. You can join for $5. I think it's $4.97, $9.97, or you can join for $14.97. So there's 3 layers. I just want to be about, as I'm climbing the ladder, I could tell you some of the things that I really needed along the way was resources. I'm a resource person. So, and then Teal can tell you, like when I talked about stocks, we were looking up stocks and I was sending out forms. That's extra, that's going above and beyond. And that's something you just don't get from everybody. And so I just want to afford you the resources that I have. When we're both into real estate, so you need leasing agreements, you need different types of paperwork for different types of deals. And so these are the types of things that you'll be able to have access to as a member. So enough of that. So the other thing that Teal and I, we play the cash flow game.
Yes, we do.
And so the first thing that you do in the game is you fill out a financial statement. And so that's something that everyone kind of brushes over. If you're planning to be a millionaire, and you don't have to be a millionaire, $8,000 may be your financial freedom number. I don't know, but we're talking about the 9 to 5 millionaire tonight, so using that amount for that reason. But let's say that $1 million coming in to you into your pocket. You have to know your numbers. You have to know where you stand. You have to take a snapshot of your finances. And so I'm going to share a video from Jemal. So if you did purchase his book, I purchased the book. I also have the online book. And with the book, he gives you some extra. So tonight, Teal, what you're going to see tonight is going to be part of our real estate course that we took. So he included that in with the book. So let me share my screen.
Okay, I can see it.
Okay, cool. Move this little thing out my way. Okay, so we're gonna look at how much it costs for the current year.
"20 years ago, when I first got on the police department, I got into an incident where this incident almost had me lose my lifestyle, right? I almost lost my lifestyle. Better yet, I almost lost my life. And in that process, I remember thinking to myself, like, man, what would happen to our lifestyle if I lost my job? Like, how would we pay our bills? How would we support ourselves? What would happen to our house note, our car note? What would happen to the way that we had our lifestyle set up? Or even worse, what would happen to my wife or my family if I would have lost my life that day? I don't know if any of you ever thought about this, but this is a reality that a lot of us face every day. What would happen to you if you lost your life? How would your family survive? Would your spouse have to now go get another job just to make ends meet? Would your family hopes and dreams go in the grave along with you? For me, I never wanted that to be a reality. So I came up with, how much does it cost to be me? I made myself aware of how much it costs to maintain our lifestyle. Just in case I've ever lost my job, or even worse, if I ever lost my life, I still would want my family to still survive. Now, the crazy thing about it is, just talking with people over the years, there's a lot of people out there that everyone knows how much income they make every month, but not everyone knows how much monthly debt they have. I like to call it how much it costs to be you. So in this segment, I want you guys to really take the time and write down how much it costs to be you. I need you guys to be aware of how much does it cost to be you. So I'm giving you guys the same exact sheet that I used 20 years ago, where I literally wrote down how much it costs to be me, line by line. Now look, I want you to take your time and work with your spouse on this. Really write down, how much does it cost to maintain your standard of living monthly? How much does it cost to be you? So I want you to take the time right now to really go in and write down, how much does it cost? What's the total amount? The reason why I want you to do this, because I know a lot of you, just like myself, work a 9 to 5. And on your 9 to 5, they tell you that you have job security. Well, look, knowing how much it costs to be you every month, what we're doing, we're being aware so we can create life security. I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to really dig in deep and write down how much it costs to be you, and then total it out. And I'll see you in a minute.
So let's take, here's the sheet right here. And the cost of your current self. And like I said, we play the cash flow game every Sunday. And the first thing, well, when we play the board game, especially, you have to fill out the cost of your current you. And
Yeah.
so when I took the Rich Dad course, the very first thing that they sent me was a financial statement. So, I mean, they do that in real life. So, I mean, I had to go in, I had to, you know, fill out something similar to this. I had to, what my salary was. I didn't have a spouse, so I didn't have to fill that portion in. Any monies that I was receiving for dividends. I used to receive money from my dividends when I first started purchasing stocks, but then I turned it around to whereas they get reinvested. So any interest that you're receiving, your investments, reimbursements, others. Also, here's the expenses. What's your mortgage, your car loan, your car insurance, your house insurance, your life insurance, children's tuition, charity, gas, electric, telephone, cable, internet, food, pet supplies, healthcare, entertainment, gifts, clothing. And some people have an extensive budget, but that's what this really is the budget. Once you fill this out, you can definitely compare your income versus your expenses. And just a plug for the game, our first goal is to create enough income that's equal to or greater than your expenses, and that's your financial freedom number. So when you have enough money coming in that takes care of your expenses, and you have money left over after that, okay, now we're in a different type of lane. I'm not going to get into cash flow game, but just to give you an idea of how that works. And so what you do is you take what you bring in minus your expenses, and then you'll have your in total there. I'm going to play a video on the current cost of you, and TL, seeing that you're moving in a whole different lane now. I don't know if you've done that to figure out, what the future cost of you is going to look like. Did you want to?
So I haven't done the future cost of me. I definitely know the current cost of me because I do a cash flow statement once a month on all of my expenses and my income. I just have been doing that for years as I operate within a budget and I manage my budget. I have like a financial meeting with myself to go over my budget every month. So I generate a cash flow statement for myself every month.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so I also kind of I have some different apps that give me insight into my credit score, and so I monitor. I have 5 of them, like Lending Tree, Credit Karma, Experian. Anyway, these different apps, and once a month I go in there and look at all of the credit scores and I track them in a spreadsheet, and then I just kind of know where I'm at. I know where I'm at cash wise. I have never thought about until Jemal. I've never thought about calculating the cost of what you want your future life to look like. The future you. I've not done that.
Well, that's perfect because, like I said, you're heading now in a whole different lane from the types of investments that you're doing. And I'm just a little privy to some of your business, but based on your vision board, let's just start there. And you already know where you're headed. That's another point, is that vision board and where you're headed, and also selecting the right investments to get you to that goal on your board. So now you got half the work done because you already know where you're headed. So we just now need to figure out how much is Teal gonna cost at that stage in her life. So let's take a look, listen to the other video on the current you.
You got the total. You now know, you're aware of how much it costs to be you, right? So you got this total. Yeah. Now what I want you to do is put the items you wrote on this list in order of importance. Meaning that if I told you that I was going to pay for whatever item you have on that list, which one would it be? Yeah, I know. A lot of you thinking, oh, I want that mortgage taken care of. I want you to pay my mortgage every month. All right, great. What we're doing is creating a blueprint. Now you have a blueprint where you're telling your real estate broker, I'm looking to make passively X amount of dollars a month, whatever your mortgage amount is. Now, some of you have a larger mortgage than others. So some of you, it might take more properties to get to that number. But for others, it might be easy. And even if it's your rent, put that number down. Now you have a blueprint to give your real estate broker. You're giving your broker direction right now, like I did 20 years ago. For me, I wanted to make sure my house note was covered if anything happened to me. So I went to my real estate broker at this moment and said, I need to passively make a certain amount to cover my house note every single month. That gave direction to my broker to now find properties that fit that criteria. We're making real estate real. So we worked on the current cost of you. But see, it's one thing I want you guys to understand. I'm gonna give you a little secret. While you're working on a current cost of you, I want you to come up with what the future cost of you looks like. You see, the future cost is what I call your dreaming life. I want some of you to take the time to dream right now. I mean, really dream. If you could live anywhere you want to live in this world, where would it be? How much would that house cost you? If you wanted to travel any single place you wanted to travel to, how much would that cost? You see, I bought a building for my vacations that we take. Where in the world do you want to go? How much would that cost if you traveled 3 times out the year? If you had the type of house that you could only dream of, how much is that house worth? Break it down per month. It could even be something as far as a car that you maybe always wanted. How much is that car note? I want you to, in this segment, to dream. So just like the current cost of you, you have the future cost of you. So in your current cost, you wrote down, this is how much my house mortgage costs now. In the future cost of you, you're gonna write down, this is how much my dream house is gonna cost me monthly. So while you're working on covering the current cost of you, we're gonna also work on that dream cost of you. This is the part I want you guys to have fun with. I mean, I really want you to dream. Like, what type of school do you want your kids to go to? How much does that school cost? I want you to break it down. I want you to create the vision and make it plain right now. I want you to really think about it. How much, even think about your kids' college tuition. How much is that gonna cost in the next 10 years? How much do you wanna put into your savings account? How much do you wanna put into your retirement account? I want you to write that down and let's come up with the total amount or how much the future cost of you will be. Somebody once asked me, what's the thing that I regret the most? And I always tell people at this part of the segment, the thing that I regret the most is not dreaming large enough. Because everything I wrote down on that piece of paper, I now have. So guys, I want you to dream and I want you to total out how much that dream comes out to. And no dream is too large.
I love it. No dream is too large. I love that statement.
Amen. And the cost of future you that you see the worksheet is the exact same as the other one. So I think safely say both our kids are grown. So
yeah,
I could take college off the table. I was just telling someone today, both my parents are gone. Which they were young, they were in their 70s. And when they got sick, I was not prepared for that. I mean, not so much financially, but mentally, I wasn't expecting it. It happened out of nowhere. And, but I walked my mom through her cancer journey for a year. And that just spoke to me because I was like, you know what? I don't want my daughter to be in her prime and have to take care of me. And so like on my my vision board I have where I want to have some houses that are assistant residential living. And so I have a house already that fits the criteria. And I was like, you know what? That's going to be my retirement home. So I am setting up now my life after retirement, meaning when I get to the stage of where I can't take care of myself, that there's enough money coming in to take care of a hired staff of people that will come and be at my house to take care of me. And so, and then at this stage, I'm really thinking about downsizing. That's why I drive a little bug. I've already started the process of downsizing, but now just researching and studying and having book clubs on millionaires, I don't really need a bigger house because,
right.
But I do like interesting floor plans. That's something that I did take in my early teen years. I took drafting, so I know how to design a house. So I like unique condo size, but different floor plans. If you notice, a lot of when there's a builder to an area, all the houses look the same. But I wouldn't mind having something unique. I want to travel, live 6 months here, live 6 months somewhere else, so yeah, I started to dream again. How about you, Teal?
Well, I definitely have big dreams. I haven't had any kind of major. My parents are both still all good, but they're retiring, and I'm preparing myself for taking care of them in their retirement. So you're privy to a little bit of what I've been doing, but one of the things that I did was I bought a house down in the area where my mother wants to retire, and I'm going to rehab that house and turn it into her retirement home. I literally met with an architect today to talk about floor plans and things like that. So as I'm making that transition, I'm into preparing my parents' caregiver. It's opening my mind to other things that I hadn't considered before. It's changing the financial picture as well. So I'm now planning for being able to cover the cost of their long-term care. So all that kind of stuff is on my mind now.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that I mean, I don't know about you, but I never even thought about that, First of all, my parents dying at an early age, and then also taking care of your parents, let alone taking care of yourself once you get to that age, or if you had a child that got sick and needed care, we just don't really think along those lines, but we do have to be prepared, especially if that's your goal, to take care of your family. But yeah, that was some good stuff today. Figuring out what your future self is, and that way you plan accordingly. You don't get to a destination and then not be prepared. Like, no, there's less surprises because you've factored all that in.
I don't even know if I can really think about, I can do a good job of trying to sort of plan out what the future me is going to be about, the cost, but some things there has to be some contingency in there for the things that you never planned for.
Yeah.
And so I guess I need to think about that as well. Jemal got me thinking about that whole thing. So it's opening my perspective.
Expanding your horizon. And that was exactly mission accomplished, I should say. Mission accomplished.
Yes, that's the point.
That's exactly what we were trying to cover today. So yeah, that was all I had. Wanted to talk about exposure. Like I said, doing a lot of research on millionaires. And I even like the, I talked about Madam C.J. Walker. Like when I went to cosmetology school, that's the first thing that you learn about, and to this day, I still have a straightening comb,
Yeah.
And she was back in the 1919. She died in 1919. Can you imagine a millionaire Black woman? She was the first female American woman, self-made millionaire. So
I think her story is so incredible. I watched her, the documentary, it wasn't a documentary, but it was a fictional movie based on her life on Netflix, which I watched, and I loved it. But just the whole entrepreneurial spirit, to want to have your own thing. I'm literally struggling with that right now. There's I've got one foot in my, thank you. I've got one foot in my corporate job, and I love the stability of having that check come through and knowing I'm going to have that income. It's steady and reliable. And I've got one foot into my investing, and, it's so uncertain. There are times when my portfolio is up in value. Like today, Bitcoin was up, so my portfolio had more money in it. And then times when my portfolio is down in value, and I worry about, will I be able to survive that uncertainty? And that makes me really conservative about stepping away from my corporate job. But I want to be brave, and I want to be bold, and I want to be entrepreneurial and I want to make that leap of faith, but something inside of me is holding me back, I think. And I just have to wrestle with that and come to a place where I can accept that risk. I need to come to that place in my own time. It's
Well,
a
just,
journey.
yeah, and you are well on your way, because once you start, you especially after you get your stuff rehab, you got new tenants and that money, that's also a consistency money coming
Yes.
in, you know. So once you see that coming in steady, no breaks, you got your it's flowing in, you know, and if a tenant moves out, no big deal, you know, you just keep going. That's when you'll say, you know, as that money is accumulating and you're reinvesting and you're keeping some back, you know, you'll see, especially when you get back your investment money and you got money coming in every month, the values of your properties
Thank
are
you.
going up. You know, that's when that's when you know, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's when you know. So just think of that future you down the road with what you just did and everything's flowing in. Consistent.
I'm working on it one little piece at a time.
Right. So once that money starts flowing in, then you know when to make your move. That's if you choose to make your move. Like Jemal, he stayed the whole time. He just retired because he was at, you know, he's still young, but he worked the whole entire time, and that's your choice. And then that also makes a different mindset when you don't have to work. You working because you just want to work, or keep yourself busy, but you know, you'll know when you looking at your bank account and money coming in steady like your paycheck.
Yeah, I know I'll get there. I know I'll get there.
You're well on your way.
Woo-hoo.
You're well on your way. So yeah, I sent you a text week. And let me find it real quick. You made me look up, okay, let me look at my Bitcoin portfolio because you said it was up. But I had sent you I said, Teal, what is your mission statement for your 16 houses?
Yes, I saw that. And I'm working on my mission statement. I love that you're holding me accountable for it.
Mission accomplished, because that will keep you focused on your down days. You know, you're like, okay,
right.
I am providing houses one at a time. You know, you're providing. You have, you know, you were needed in this generation because there's going to be people that will need housing, and you'll be able to open that door, be that bridge for them. And so
yeah,
it's bigger than you. It's bigger than you. Your assignment is bigger than you, I tell you. But that's all I have for tonight.
Okay.
I know you're driving and all, and so
I just got home.
But we thank you all for watching. Again, we have a membership. For those that are members would actually get the worksheets that I shared tonight in the video. And thank you for joining. See you on the next video.